Hey guys, I'm Preston here from SPM Board. Here is Joshua.
Hey guys.
So, we've been getting a lot of inquiries from many of the students PMing us about where should they study, what should they study after the SPM. And we decided to make a video about this because when we were in SPM ourselves, we are currently 20 years old, like both of us. Like 2 years back, we didn't have any guidance on what to study after SPM, and we decided to follow the crowd to join A level. So it wasn't the wisest decisions for us, to be honest, because we are currently studying in a local university. For Joshua, it is Nottingham University, Malaysia, and for me, it is Monash University, Malaysia. So hopefully, by the end of the video, you guys could have gotten a take-home message for you guys and have a clearer idea on what to pursue after your SPM. Right, so let us begin with some of the questions that we have received from the students. And here we go.
Alright, so one of the first questions is, if I want to study overseas, which pre-U course should I take? So generally students after SPM would just follow the crowd and take A levels. That's what both of us did. But I would say it's one of the best choices there because it's commonly considered as the gold standard of pre-U programs because it's globally accepted by many different countries like UK, US, Singapore, Hong Kong, Australia, or even Australia. And there's also many different subjects to choose from. And you should take subjects in a way that you want to pursue your undergraduate course. For example, if you want to take medicine, you should take a combination of biology, chemistry, physics, and maths, for example. If you want to study engineering, you don't really require bio, so you can just take physics, chemistry, maths, or even further maths. Or if you don't want to take further maths, you can take econs. So the duration of this program is usually 15 to 18 months, around 1.5 years. And the minimum number of subjects you can take is 3 to 4. I mean, you can take more, but 3 to 4 is already a lot to handle. So it's up to you and based on your capability whether you can handle it or not. And also, it's 100% exam based, and it is split into two levels. First it's called the AS level, and then after that it's called A2 level. So AS level, it's generally much more easier because most of the stuff is quite similar to what you learn in SPM, probably just a little bit more addition to some stuff, but AS is generally more easier than A2. You will take your AS first, and then after that your A2. Your final grade will be the combination of these two averaged out. And the grades are given from A star to E for each subject with a maximum score of A star for like 3 A stars for 3 subjects and 4 A stars for 4 subjects. Yeah, that's about it. But if you want to know whether it is the right choice for you, if you're looking for a globally recognized pre-university qualification and you're very academically inclined and prefer exam-oriented assessment rather than coursework or assignments, then A levels is the right choice for you. Besides that, there are other pre-U programs like OSMAT, ADTP, or like the American Degree Transfer Program or the Canadian Pre-University Program. They are all not 100% exam based, and like for example OSMAT is 50% coursework and 50% exam, so you have to be consistent with your coursework and you have to study consistently. For ADTP is also similar, but it is more of a direct route to your undergraduate degree. Yeah, so
Right,
that's
so
about it.
to add on top of what Joshua had said, but these three courses, namely OSMAT, ADP, and also CIMP, they are more targeted towards a specific country, which, for example, OSMAT are for students who wish to attend an Australian university, CIMP for Canadian universities, and ADP for American universities. Here is just a thought that I came about, right, when Joshua was mentioning about ADP. It's that if you wish to pursue your tertiary education in America, you don't have to actually go for these pre-U courses directly. What you can do is instead you can go for SAT directly and apply for their universities, although you have to go through a lot of essay writing, a lot of interviews, and it's much more competitive compared to if you graduate from a pre-university course, right? So it's up to you if you want to go for an American degree. ADP is the choice for you, and or you can go for an SAT as well, sit for the exam, and apply for an American university straight away, right? So for the second question, it would be, if I want to study at local public university, which pre-U course should I take? Well, for overseas universities, students have to pay a hefty amount of money just to graduate from an overseas education in the range of $500,000 to $1 million at least. Ringgit. Yes. So what most people do is instead, well, they are not financially privileged as the people who can afford overseas education, is to go for a local route. Local route can be public, can be private. So for now, I'll be talking more on the public side because public, first, is more affordable. Second, I believe it's much more common to students, especially for students from SMK. Yep. So what I would suggest is, if you have a pretty good grade, you scored pretty well in SPM, you could apply for matriculation. So what matriculation is, it's basically a course to prepare you for university. And matriculation, it lasts for around a year to 2 years. But normally it would last for a year for a typical study, right? So it's separated into streams, namely science, accounting, or technical. Well, you will be assigned, you can apply for either one of the three streams and be assigned and allocated a fixed number of subjects. So for science, maybe you would be studying about biology, physics, chemistry, maths, right? So it's a fixed module that everyone has to follow, but there are also a lot of choices out there for you to choose from. So unlike A-level, it would be more robust in the sense that you would have to do assignments, do presentations, and sit for exams, right? So it's definitely the way to go if you wish to pursue a tertiary education, because the chances of you getting into a prestigious local university like or UKM is much more higher than any other courses out there. And on top of that, you only have to pay a fixed registration fee, which is around 500 to 1,000 ringgit to graduate from matriculation. So it's extremely affordable. Well, I mentioned previously that you can compare matriculation to STPM, but I believe that STPM would guide you to a harder course in the sense that local public universities would actually prioritize students for matriculation first. And I believe most of you are aware that it's not easy to get into matriculation, but do give it a try before pursuing your pre-U studies in STPM, right? So STPM lasts for 2 years, and also like A-level, you can choose from a variety of subjects, and it's up to you whether you want to take 3 or 4, but I think the minimum is 3. So, and there are a lot of rumors out there, or I would say a lot of opinions out there saying that STPM is harder than A-level, and to a certain extent it is true, because if you compare SPM to O-level, SPM is much harder than O-level as well. So if you make the right comparison between STPM and also A level, I think the argument stands in a way that STPM is actually harder than A level. But of course, it's the same as SPM, it follows the bell curve, meaning you will be graded based on the performance of other students as well. So you don't have to worry about how you will do in STPM, right? If you are smart, you are smart. So what else? What's the next?
Oh, talk about foundation.
Yes, foundation. So for foundation, right, I wouldn't recommend the students take foundation if you are uncertain of which university or which course to study next. Because once you step into foundation, there's no way out, in the sense that you have to continue your studies from where you took your foundation and what you took in foundation. So I believe that foundation are for students who have already set their foot and have a clear idea of what they want to pursue. For example, if you want to study engineering, you are very firm that you want to study engineering at Nottingham, Malaysia, right? So you can go for a foundation in science. Is there a foundation in engineering?
Yeah, there's foundation.
Yeah, you can go for foundation in engineering in Nottingham, Malaysia. So that would save you a year or half a year, or maybe even a year, compared to if you were to take A level like Joshua to get into chemical engineering in Nottingham, Malaysia, right? So that is definitely the more time-effective course of action compared to if you were to take other pre-university studies, which might last longer.
And I want to add to that, even though you don't take foundation, for example, foundation in engineering or foundation in science, foundation engineering in, example, University of Nottingham, but you take your foundation elsewhere, like in Help University, they will still consider your application, but generally they will accept their own foundation students first before they look into other foundation students. But if your grades are good, then they will definitely accept you.
Right. So the chances are everywhere if you work hard, if you hustle for what you are passionate about, right? In Joshua's case, it's engineering, and for my case, it's computer science, right? So
Okay, the third question is, I heard that A-level students are smarter. Is that true? I wouldn't say so, because there are other smart people who don't take A levels because they already know like where they want to go. For example, people who want to go to Australia to pursue their degree, they would just take OSMAT or OSMAT, because it's a fast route. It's just one year, and it grants them they can just go there to pursue their undergraduate course. And usually the rumors of A-level students being smarter rises from the syllabus that is generally more in-depth and more difficult, and the amount of time needed for you to put in to study. For example, a science subject like chemistry, in AS level you have to take 3 papers, mainly paper 1, paper 2, paper 3. Paper 1 is 40 objective questions, and paper 2 is a 60 marks structured questions, and paper 3 is a lab. You have to perform laboratory work where you have to determine, like, examples of experiments are titrations, qualitative salt analysis, and that is just for AS. A2 will be 2 more papers. One will be paper 4, which is a 100-mark structured and essay question paper, and paper 5 would be where you write reports on lab, right?
yes, exactly. You
Yeah.
have to analyze the results
Yeah.
from your experiments.
So actually, to be honest, before going into A levels, I didn't do that well for my SPM. I did okay, but during my high school exams were like really, really hard and all, I guess. But I didn't really understand what I learned properly, and I just read it just for the sake of reading it. But A levels made me want to understand like the stuff that I taught, and whenever the teacher whenever the teacher finish teaching and I don't understand a specific thing, I will actually search it up myself or even go watch YouTube, go even on Quora there's people answering. So yeah, it made me a more inquisitive person and I'll always ask questions which actually made me smarter, I would say, I guess. So yeah, A levels definitely will groom you into a better student and someone who's more curious about everything, I guess.
Right, right. I can agree to a certain degree about that. A-level students are generally more academically qualified than the rest of the crew because they are doing it on an exam basis. So they have to study really, really hard just to ace that paper. So anything from the book, A-level students will get it right. So, well, there are pros and cons to A-level as well, in the sense that it might be more narrow. It might be a more narrow education in the sense that you have to study a lot compared to other pre-university courses that you can do assignments, you can do presentations and stuff. A level would be a more academically inclined course in a way that something like SPM, right? And you have to really, really work hard for the final exam. That's my take on A level.
Yeah, for those of you who don't like exam based stuff like exam orientated stuff, don't go for A levels. Go for like OSMAT or something else which you have assignments to help you, because you really have to study really hard for your A levels.
Well, moving on to the next question, we have another question about, well, my results aren't that great, but what should I take? Well, it's really, really subjective and it depends wholly on what you are interested in. So I would say, right, the module answer for this question would be foundation because most people can pass foundation with flying colors because there are a lot of assignments, a lot of presentations, a lot of group work to help you out to ace your foundation year. So that is something you can look into if you are already certain on what you want to do next after your SPM. If your results aren't on par with your peers that are taking A level, right? But I would also suggest you to take a look at other programs out there. For example, if you want to be a teacher, go have a look at the teachers program that the government offers. Like you can go straight into that with an SPM qualification. You don't have to go through pre-university study as well. And if you want to become a police, right, there are also programs for being a police. So do head out on the internet and find out the opportunities that is in front of you, that is ahead of you, that aligns with what you want to do next in your future. Right. So what we are sharing today is not exhaustive. It's not everything that you could do, that you have to choose one of the many opinions, one of the many suggestions that we give today. But be on the hunt and keep searching for your options. And I believe that if you don't give up, you will find your way through. Right. So moving on to the next question. I have limited budget for my studies and I want to join the workforce as soon as possible. Well, which course should I take? Well, if you are not really financially, what's the word?
Well to do.
You're not really well to do and you really, really need to help out with your family's plate, I would suggest that you can keep an eye on diploma, right? So what diploma is, it's, right, in short terms, it means a two-year program where you can equip yourself with technical skills that are required in the work market and you can work directly straight after you graduate within 2 years. And that is something you could really look into because Well, diploma students don't get paid any less than degree students if you really can master what you're doing, what you studied in diploma, right? So, for example, one of my friends, well, he's actually a lot older than us. He's 28 years old. He only has a diploma in IT, but he's doing really well in his development firm. So I believe that is something that you should look into. Well, don't despise diploma. Many people have the misconception that, well, diploma is only for the people who cannot afford university. No. Well, diploma would be more of a practical side of things than a theoretical side of things as the degrees out there. So, for example, a diploma in IT would teach you how to develop a website. Well, that is something that could earn you a buck straight away, right? Instead of a degree that would probably take you another year to learn how to develop a website after studying 3 years in university. So do keep an eye out on the diploma programs out there as well, because it's not only is it relatively cheap, it's also a guaranteed way for you to secure a job within 2 years, right?
So I guess that's about it, right?
Right. So these are the 5 questions that some of you have asked us, and do keep your inquiries coming, right? We are more than willing to help out as both your senior and also the team, the SPM board team, right? So do you have anything to add on?
Just before you choose your pre-U, think about what you want to do in the future. Then only make the decision, or else you're gonna regret and you're gonna waste your time. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, also don't be too harsh on yourself in the sense that, well, I chose the wrong course. Well, there goes the end of my future. So it's nothing like that. Well, keep your heads up, be positive, and believe that in the future your dots can connect based on what you have done. Even though if you think it's wrong for now, it will be right in the future, right? So thank you so much for listening us out, and please leave us a DM if you have any other questions, and recommend your friends to go on SPM board to ask questions, especially SPM questions, because there are a lot of mentors that are very willing to help you out with your homework. So thank you once again, and see you next time.
Yeah. See you next time.